Removing broken bolts can be very difficult, especially if you don't do it all the time. I'm going to show you some techniques that I use in this video that I often use when I'm working on site, and I'll show you all the techniques that I know of to remove broken bolts. Now, there are a lot of variables when you do this. There are different grades of bolts. Some of them are high tensile and they are very difficult to drill. So drilling them out should always be the last resort. If you do need to drill them out, it's a good idea to try and use a mag drill. A mag drill will ensure that you get straight down the centre, and it should not move at all once you have switched the magnet on. If you do need to drill out a hardened bolt, you're going to need some special drill bits. You can't do it with a normal high-speed drill. You will just burn the drill bit out. And as you can see, these are well used. I have used these for drilling out some hardened bolts in the past. That enables you to drill down the centre of the bolt, which does weaken it significantly. The last time I used these, I used them in a mag drill, and I actually drilled out a hardened security wheel nut on a vehicle, and that did work very well. But it is very difficult drilling out something that is hardened. So you may need special drill bits like this if you are drilling out hardened bolts. One of the best things you can do with any broken bolt is to spray it thoroughly with some kind of spray penetrant. I actually removed one of these a few days ago at work, and it had actually been in this machine for 50 years and it had sheared, and I sprayed it with spray penetrant, left it for a couple of hours, went away and did something else, sprayed it again. When I came back to it, I actually managed to get it out using the first technique that I tried, which was knocking it round with a chisel. So spray penetrant should always be used, and that can really help to remove a broken bolt. You can also apply heat to it. If you get the bolt red hot, it can make it expand. When it cools and contracts, it can actually loosen the bond between the threads on the broken bolt and the material that it is lodged in. So you've got two things there. You can always try spray penetrant and heat. Just be careful when you're using them both, because obviously the spray penetrant is flammable. One of the easiest methods is to use a chisel or a centre punch. This can be very useful, and as long as you spray it with plenty of penetrant, there is a chance that you can actually knock it round so far that you can actually get a pair of mole grips on to remove the broken bolt. I do use this quite a lot at work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If this doesn't work, I tend to weld a nut on, and that virtually guarantees that you can get out the broken bolt. So to do this, you do need a chisel that is small enough to go inside. If your chisel is too big, you will struggle doing this. What we're going to do is we're going to take the chisel, put it on an angle like so, and when we hit it with the hammer, it will actually bite into the broken bolt. If we keep doing that and then go around it like so, we should be able to remove the broken bolt. Once the stud is sticking up past the material, you can then put some mole grips on there, and you can then wind that out and remove the bolt. One of the best ways to remove a broken bolt is to get a nut that is plain, so that has not been coated with zinc or galvanised or anything. That is the same size as the bolt that you're trying to remove. That fits on there perfectly. You can hold that in position. You can then take a welding electrode and you can weld on the inside of that. When you do this, you can actually get quite a lot of heat into the broken bolt, and that can actually help to release it. Once you've done that, you can simply undo it and remove it. You don't need to be a good welder to do this. You just need to be able to weld slightly, because all you're going to do is fill that up with molten metal. It doesn't matter if there's slag in there or anything. All we're concerned with is getting that broken piece of bolt out of there. All I did there was got the electrode and shoved it in there, And obviously when you're using an electrode it gets shorter as you're using it, so all you have to do is push it in a circular motion. The actual nut will contain the molten pool of weld. Once you've done that, you can then take a suitable spanner, put that on there, and then you can remove the broken section of bolt. If you ever get a bolt that's sheared off inside of a hole like that, you can actually still use a welder. You can get a special electrode called an extractor alloy, and they are specially designed to be used in situations like that. You actually get the rod, push it in there, and the special flux coating will prevent it from sticking to the sides. I haven't actually used one, but I have actually seen them, and they are supposed to work pretty well. You can also drill into the bolt, and then you can use an extractor like one of these. We've got two different types. We've got the square one, which apparently doesn't spread the bolt when you try and remove it. These are imperial. And then we have the screw type ones like so. The rule of thumb when you're using these is to use the largest one that you actually can without damaging the internal threads. We don't want to go too big with the hole. This is a number 4, and that is a 1/4 inch hole that we need to drill before we could use that one. We're actually going to use the square ones. We'll try one of these. So I'm going to try using that one, which is a 5/16 drill. To start off with, you need to put a centre punch in the dead centre, or as close to the centre as you can get it. So that is about there. So I'm now going to drill that out, and then we'll use one of the extractors. I'm going to do this using some cutting paste, which I'll apply to the drill. I'm going to use a small diameter drill bit first. I've now swapped to a larger diameter drill bit. Again, I'm going to use some cutting paste. I've selected a slower speed on the drill. I'm now going to take the extractor, I'm going to put that in the hole, and then I'm going to give that a gentle tap. I'm then going to take a suitable spanner, put that on there, and apply some pressure in an anti-clockwise direction. And you can see that that is extracting the broken bolt. So sometimes the extractors work and sometimes they don't. It depends on the bolt, how long it's been in there, whether or not it's rusted in, whether or not it's thread locked in. But if you use some penetrant first, apply some heat first, there's every chance that once you've drilled it, you can successfully use the extractor to remove the broken bolt. These are left-handed drill bits. These are very useful. This is a full set of them. You actually use these in reverse. The beauty of these is that you can drill into a bolt, and sometimes the tip will actually bite when it's cutting, and it will actually extract the bolt for you. So these are very useful indeed. Before we use the left-handed drill bit, I'm just going to centre punch the centre of the broken bolt. You need to get this in the dead centre, or as close to the centre as possible. I'm now just going to use a centre drill to start the hole. Because the left-handed drill bits are difficult to get hold of and more expensive than traditional drill bits, I do tend to save them for specialist jobs. So I'm just going to apply some cutting paste to the end of that, and I'm just going to use a starter drill to start this hole. I'm now going to take some cutting paste, apply that to the tip of the drill, and then the critical point is ensuring that the drill is in reverse. I'm now going to proceed to drill the hole. At some point this may grab and it may extract the bolt as it is cutting in reverse. Like so. So again, left-handed drill bits are incredibly useful, and they are another tool that you can use to remove some broken bolts.